Okay, this is another video. Actually, it's my second take because the first time I was like a little too emotional because it was really happening in real time. They were creating these different thoughts. Target individuals. This is my second channel. The first channel has been struck, so I can't make any videos there. But before making this video, I was going back into like older videos and realizing that how I mean, it's just like so systematic that I'm looking at stories, looking at my videos, and first of all, could speak better, obviously, because my brain was not as manipulated. Was more able to express myself in a quite calm way, versus now. Now it's just a little bit, just so much, and because my brain is so ravished and tormented with these nasty things they do to me, it's just crazy. And my speech is not as good as it used to be. But I'm gonna continuously make some videos. It's so disturbing. Uh, as I said, the purpose why I make videos is for two reasons. I know there's other target individuals who are watching. Maybe a few, maybe there's more perps than target individuals watching, but there's still a few. In this new channel, I don't know how long it's going to take for it to get some actual views from target individual, but I will do my best to also kind of do what my part. But I've talked about how they manipulate memories and create versions of reality that are so falsified. And unfortunately, at this point, I don't expect to ever experience my memories ever the same way, ever. I know that every time I wake up, something's different about me. I know that while I'm asleep, especially when I have those deep sleep and I wake up, that is probably the worst time because they're probably doing so much to my mind, to my thoughts, and changing a lot of things. They override me with a new version of reality. And they use these bottom feeders that are so disturbing and foul. You know, they were making noise campaign thinking that I'm going to let them live their fantasy and then calling me their pedophile. Usually they project reality. I made a video like 3 years ago about how they project reality. Reality is that they are pedophiles for what they do, for what they're supposed to do, and what they're assigned to do. They're supposed to get you to accept this falsification of reality and actually happen to do this pedophilia type of torture. And on top of that, another layer is they work for pedophiles. Me, complete manipulations. They've done a lot of things, so I'm going to put this in a different, I'm going to make sure I differentiate this and can look up this because I know they're going to bring it up and I know they're still working on it. And I should have known that they were working on it because it started in stages. So, what they were trying to bring up, there was this person that used to mess with me in different fashion, right? And now, because my brain is much worse than what it was before, 2 years ago, so 2 years ago, they can do much more. I remember a while ago, they were messing with me about this person who I saw on Instagram. I remember I used to date this person, dating maybe not really the word. We had something together. We had some connections. We had like a moment, I would say, together for maybe a week or 3 weeks, and didn't end up working out. But we're together for a short time period. And so I saw her on Instagram with her little sister. But the last time I saw her little sister, she was like a little 12-year-old girl. And I'm seeing her now, she's like almost like an adult. She looked taller than the girl I used to be with. I'm like, what? She was a little kid. Look at her now, right? And they used to mess with me. It's like, oh, you see her, you want her. It's like, oh, okay, whatever. And then now they're bringing up the first time I saw this kid. I remember when she was a kid. I remember I'm going to this person who I was with in some ways, and go to her house for the first time. I see her family, and I remember she's like, I'll be back. Be in the bathroom, in the bedroom. I'll be back. I'm going to the bathroom. Her sister's showering, I guess. She comes back. I can hear them yell, "Ah!" Something like that. It's like, Stacy, you did it again. Stop, Stacy. Mom, Stacy's doing it again. Right? She's saying something like that. Now I'm putting these stories because, as disgusting as it's gonna be, I want to make sure that my stories are told, and that reality is seen for what it is. Now I know by doing that, these people want to break me down, and they're gonna use torture. They're gonna use torment. You gotta be strong in this because your mind is completely ravaged by them. They can control whatever reality they want. I'm aware of reality. I'm like, literally, I'm not in line with my brain. They work day in, their assignment day in and day out is to see what they can manipulate. They literally come and see people coming with a little suitcase. It's like, their job is this. We're going to try to make somebody see things in these disturbing ways. Pedophilia ways. Their job is to look at kids in these disturbing ways and get you to see your memories in disturbing ways. So that's why I'm saying these stories. And you're going to see that pattern not only in this channel, but my initial channel, which I'm always going to link to this, and vice versa. When I was there, I see her coming out. And I heard, and this is the girl I was with, and I hear her yelling out, and I was like, what's going on? I mean, just in the bedroom, just hanging out there, just waiting for her to come back in. She comes back in. She's like, oh my gosh, I just caught Stacy again with, like she was, in the shower, using the shower in this way. So I was like, oh my, come on, that's kind of mean. Like, in my mind, I tried to play it cool, but I was like, that's kind of mean. Why you tell me, like, why are you embarrassing your sister like that? And she was really loud. It was like, it's humiliating. And she's like, she used the shower. It's like, oh, it's like, okay, it's kind of sad. Don't humiliate your sister like that. This is what I'm thinking, but I'm quiet. I'm looking at her. I was like, oh. But she's like, oh, we're about to, the whole family is like we're hot-blooded or something like that. I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of mean. I feel bad for the little sister. I felt bad because, like, what, like, that's embarrassing. That would be super embarrassing if my brother come in and he tells this, like, So I felt embarrassed for her. I kind of find I saw that as kind of mean for her older sister to say that, especially when I'm here. And it's that. Now, this moment, obviously, I know what she meant. What she did. She said something. She was descriptive about, like, yeah, she was using the shower head this way, right? I understand. She was discovering herself as a kid. And so I know that. Now they're making me imagine it so disturbingly. So it's so disturbing because this information you have in your brain, imagination is, they can do whatever. And so what they're doing a lot of things. They're making me imagine this. And they're like, oh, they wait for you. It's like, listen, I'm going to, like, if somebody right now tells me I'm going to rip you up in pieces, I will run just because the simple fact that these people wants to live in this fantasy. I cannot allow that. I think it's my duty, my purpose in life, even if it's death and torture, to make sure that these people don't live this fantasy. To understand that the time will come for them to be properly reimbursed. I rather get cut in pieces than let them live this fantasy where they think that this is natural, this is real. Making me then have this moment of my memories where I'm imagining it. Imagine this kid pleasing her, like doing whatever. As I'm turning out to try to do something. Imagine this kid in this moment. Now, of course, when she said that, I knew what she meant. I kind of understood. She was doing something in the shower. We all were kids at one point. I was a kid at that point. I did the same thing when I was a kid, in a different version, but she did the same thing, right? She's doing the same thing as the kid as she was, right? That's that. We just, and that's that. And then now they try to make me imagine, like, I was like, oh, stop it. And they're like, but have you ever, because what she did, right, in the shower, I've heard, I've seen movies and things where people do these things, actual adults, right? And they're like, did you ever, like, think about, I remember when when the sister made a comment about her sister. I was like, no. But let's just say that I was like, oh, I remember when this person was talking about Stacy. That's kind of sad. But whatever, it would be like that. But then they try to say, oh no, you imagine her. Oh. And they make me imagine this 12-year-old doing something to herself. Like vivid imaginations too. And then they try to create different versions, like, but have you ever, like, thought how these things works? Like, how should, no, not like that. They are making me imagine that. And making me feel like this is truly something I imagined. Now, mind you, my memories at this point are completely manipulated. That's why they're waiting for now to do this. Because at this point, my brain is so ravaged that they make me imagine it like that. Making me imagine exactly the specific of how things are. Oh, so disgusting. But it's easy for them to imagine that because I was told. But this girlfriend of mine, or I'll call her girlfriend, but she was not really my girlfriend, exactly what she saw. And so the imagination of that is easy because she said that. So now I'm being forced to imagine literally of what this kid might have done in the shower. I didn't have to imagine it. I knew what exactly it's like. Oh, yeah, kids doing something, whatever. Now they give me super vivid imagination of that. It's disturbing, and making me feel like, oh, just randomly, oh, you thought about it like that. No, they making me have a memory of imagining that like that. Of course not. It, this thing completely fade out. Not even fade out, but it's just like, it's not like, oh, well, I remember when this. And if like, okay, but what if something happened, you watch on TV, and they talk about that moment? Would you be like, oh, I remember when they were talking about Stacy? Yes, that could be like, oh, I remember when the sister, that was embarrassing. I'll think like that. But they try to make me imagine, because what they try to do, and the reason why this is my second take is because I was kind of emotional when I was making the first video, so I gotta calmly say the things and relax, because it is frustrating to experience a memory that you know is falsified and experience it the way they want me to experience it, with different imaginations. And at the same time, they try to think that this is gonna make me mad, because they think, one, I'm gonna be subscriptive to it. This is why I make videos, targeting videos. If they ever try to play with this false imagination, they have the ability to play with your stream of thoughts and have falsified memories in so many ways. Do not subscribe to this. Do not. Matter of fact, be so unsubscriptive to it, make videos and talk about it. You know what I'm saying this? Why, while I'm speaking about this, they're telling me how I'm going to be struggling. You know, you see obvious disorientation? They try to make you change subjects. How I'm going to be tortured? Because they want me to think about other ways of thinking. They don't want you to be able to express what you know is happening, even though even though you're not experiencing it. You know it's falsified. Now, they can make me imagine like I was randomly sitting down, and then I imagine how this 12-year-old was like. That's the things they do. I can speak about it, but my brain is for them they can play however they want. And they won't be like, oh, they believe me. It's like, no, I know. This is not my first video. How many videos have I talked about the falsified memories? These versions came in all ways. The reason why they come up with this way now is because my brain is this gone. And then as I'm putting things in perspective, they kind of change side, disorienting me, talking about some random things. Because they want me to accept what's happening to my brain in these memories that are falsified. And they want you to accept this. They can make me think of this kid doing these things in every fashion, in my brain. Like, oh yeah, I remember thinking, no, of course I never. I know it's falsified. I know this is how amazing this technology is. It's so sad. Oh, can you imagine? Like, I don't even want to go into details, but it's extremely vivid. Oh my goodness, Lord. It's extremely vivid, and it's disturbing. Because this is not how naturally you imagine these things. See, they'll say something and say, okay, I get it. You don't have to now have vivid imagination how this kid was maybe doing this thing. And then they yell outside and try to make you mad about it, and try to get you subscribed to it. Do you understand? It's pathetic. You just understand that, okay, there was a kid, they were in the shower, whatever is happening, she was discovering herself. My then girlfriend came, she started making a note, like a whole thing about it. And I was like, that's kind of mean. You shouldn't be doing that to your sister like that. In my mind, I'm not saying that to her. I'm like, oh, that's kind of, like, I'm like, that's kind of mean. Like, that's mean. That's like embarrassing your sister. Right? But I'm quiet, and she keeps going on. I was like, okay, yeah, that's it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember that weird moments. Like, how would you? That's what made it weird. Is like, why would you say that about your sister? And now they like try to create moments in imagination. That's because there's nothing real. So they try to find what can they create as a pattern, as a proof that this peripheral ways of thinking now is natural. So they feel, oh, this moment. Oh, but maybe when somebody was talking about something like that, you're like, oh, remember when the sister Stacy talked about Stacy? Okay. But what they can't do it. Now, what they try to also add slowly, though, is adding stimulations in these memories. Make you feel sensations. Make you feel stimulations. Make me like, and add some more, and then make me think of this very, 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 very like strong imaginations of these things. I mean, very like detailed. And then they come in, it's like, oh, you are sexual, whatever. Using this different tonality. Listen, death comes to all of us. Death comes to all of us. These people projecting reality, having to create their reality. Unfortunately, reality came back for real. They're making me imagine this 12-year-old in these fashions, and they make me literally imagine, oh, it's so disturbing. Which is them forcing me to imagine this. With these disturbing ways of imagining things, because the V2K can make you imagine things in such a depictive like ways. It's just disturbing. Instead of reality, okay, well, I remember what happened. Okay, that's that. Now they're making me literally imagine this. And that's just started not today, but I was able to talk about it normally like a few months ago. God knows, because my brain is like that now. And they're gonna look for what they can to create in their fashion. Do you think I ever imagined this kid like to stimulate me, to turn me on? Would that? This is sad. And now they try to make me imagine. Okay, what about actual women doing what she did, but they're women? See, like, it's just crazy. And they're like, yeah, like maybe like that'll bring back. Oh, remember, like just when they call Stacy, this woman is doing this. Traumatized individual. I've been told how I'm gonna be raped. What they gonna do to me? To try to make me identify with this. These people do not want to be seen. This one church who was trying to make noise campaign because I was recording this thing and my video paused for a second. I was like, are they messing with my phone? Because sometimes they play with my phone, but rarely. Like I said, it's rare, but there's always a possibility they can do that. And it was not that. And they thought, oh, you thought it was us. So no, I was like, no, this is part of being aware that the people who are manipulating your brain also have the ability to manipulate your phone. So of course, you always have to have you have to be on guard. I understand reality. These people want to escape reality. And when they come up with these fantasies and these false memories and these new ways of perceiving memories in these disturbing ways and creating their new versions and then tell you they are, thinking that's going to make me subscribe to it, of course I'm not going to subscribe to this. To my target individual, I'd rather starve to death. I'd rather die. This gives me honor. I know my time is going to come. I'm telling you, there's no point where I'll be like tortured and I'll be like, oh, I can't wait to, oh my gosh, I was having such a good life here. No. These people are disgusting. What I'm thinking is they're about to frame me in different fashion. Most likely child porn is going to implant it. Most likely some child's going to say something. And these are the things they do. And they're like, oh, we busted. Yeah, then obviously they want to agitate you because at this point I've been validated that these people actually are the pedophiles in so many ways. And they try to use this tonality. It doesn't even piss me off. It's like, that I'm looking at you truly for what you are. And it's so sad for you. You've been humiliated. Well, while you're here creating this thing about this kid, when my ex-girlfriend was embarrassed this kid, you're trying to make me imagine it in different ways. I'm here listening to actual pedophiles downloading child porn on the computer devices, and you are here trying to create memories and with imaginations of that sort. You see, reality is sad for them. That's why they have to escape it. But reality keeps hitting them. They tell me how homeless and yeah, okay, that's because I'm in a program that experiment on people. And you're going to be reimbursed because you're in this program that does these horrible things to people, even implanting child porn in their brain. And that's what they want me to think like this. It's nasty. Tell my target individuals, stay strong. Justice will be done for what they do to us. For these low-life pedophiles who project reality onto others, they will get theirs. Death comes to all of us. They don't know how they're going to go. They talk about my skin, how it's going to be. Yes, they radiate the stuff out of my brain. out of my skin. I've seen the faces of these women they torture the same way. They have the whole face peeled out. So now you gotta understand, these people wants to live a deluded reality where, oh, it's him. These pedophilia things, no, it's disturbing. It's what you make me imagine. It's so sad. It's so sad. So sad. The part is, and I should stop doing that. They give me a glimpse of how my real thoughts were for a second, and then stop it and go back to the other stuff and take it over. I should never even go for it. I just let go. My brain is never going to be the same. I'm going to imagine these disturbing ways. Just make a video and bring up the reality of things. To all my targeting videos, the reason why I go such in details with my targeting is because I know there's different versions of target. In the meaning that they can use the same tactics onto you by using other things. Do you hear? This is somebody who's telling me about her sister. Now they try to make me imagine it in these disturbing ways, and then try to create this imagination that was so graphic. It's disturbing. And implant that in my memories as if I was thinking like that. Disturbing. Instead of reality, I was like, okay, yeah. But because I know the information, I received the information, they can create these imaginations. And because I've seen adult women do in circumstances like that, they try not to put the child in it. And I have imagination that I never had before, with the utmost graphicness of it. These people work on these things. It's every day something else. And then they try to use intimidation for you to subscribe to it. Whatever horrible screams and yelling and cry I'm going to experience, God give me strength to go through this theater. But one thing I would always thank God is that I didn't have to live that life that these people live. This coward pedophilia life that this low life live. They try to rewire people in these pedophilia ways. I don't understand. I live a life that's so bizarre in the sense that I no longer live with what's going on. I disassociate with what's happening to my brain. It's not me, it's the brain that they've played with, they manipulate, the memories falsified. It doesn't, some of them feel so real. The memory, some of you feel like literally you felt this memory. It's completely false. Completely. Do you know, they even try to make me imagine the shower head and try to make me imagine, have I ever looked at a shower head and then think, no. Can you imagine? They literally make me imagine that. Never. Do you think I look at it, I was like, oh, remember Stacy? Remember when they would make it? No. But it feels like that. Because what is happening is they're able to make me think of whatever they want, however they want, and create these thoughts. It's a falsified memory. I never looked at it, oh no, my gosh, I remember one Stacy. Stupidity. But now that's how I deal with things. That's how my brain goes, and they try to make noise campaigns, smack at things, try to intimidate me into accepting these false memories. Because I know this thing about this moment. And I don't want to even try to go back and forth. This is how my brain is now. It's manipulated this way. But when I see them, I see these are the trash, the bottom feeders that sold the soul to pedophiles to try to make you accept these things. It's frustrating, but you have to accept that, don't worry, they'll be reimbursed. In the meantime, stay strong and do your part. And my job right now, my assignment, there's assignments to try to turn me into a pedophile and to manipulate my brain in these pedophile ways. My assignment is to expose this low life and show them for who they are, to themselves too. And when they look at me, they gotta better understand, okay, how many years you give yourself? Okay. To all my target individuals, stay strong.